Okay, so this is basically the BMP180 sensor. I wasn't able to find a BMP280 at hand, but I had a BMP180, so I guess we'll have to work with it. But the BMP280 is also quite similar to this, so yeah, it's gonna be the same. This right here is the actual sensor, the BMP180 sensor, and it contains the silicon diaphragm inside, which is used to detect any changes. Like it basically it works on the piezoelectric effect. These are some transistors, I believe, and this is the voltage regulation device. This is the pinout. I'll go over the pins one by one. This is VCC, so basically you supply the voltage for the sensor from this pin. The sensor accepts 3.3 volts or 5 volts, or I believe anything in between as well, but 3.3 and 5 volts, that is accepted. And 3.3 volts is the recommended voltage. So yeah, this is the ground pin. You connect it to your Arduino or Raspberry Pi's ground. This is the serial clock pin, which is used for synchronizing the time with the Arduino, so that everything is working in sync. This is the SDA pin, which is basically the data pin for input and output, and since the sensor works on I2C and SPI, you can just use these two pins to communicate with your development board. And this is the 3.3 volt output pin. You basically, the sensor will output 3.3 volts from this pin, so you can use it for any other purposes, but the amperage offered is going to be very low, but you still have that option. So yeah, I guess that is just the sensor itself. It's quite tiny when you compare it. So yeah, that was it. Thank you. Okay, so this is the small project I have made. This is the sensor and Arduino setup right here, and this is just the code. Now, if we rather the output, if you look at the output, it tells you the temperature, the pressure, the altitude at that meter, the pressure at sea level, and the actual real altitude. I have basically utilized the Adafruit library and the example code of the Adafruit library. So yeah, I'll explain that in the next segment, but this was basically, it's quite simple actually. Okay, so in this part of the video, I'm going to be explaining the code that I've utilized for the BMP280 sensor. Right. Actually, since I did not have a BMP280, I've used a BMP180, but the code is quite similar. I'm utilizing the Adafruit BMP085 library right here. Right, this library also includes all the codes for BMP180, so my sensor also works. Yeah, I'm just so I have included the library here. They have basically made an object called Adafruit BMP, right? They are starting a serial connection, and they're basically checking that if the object has been created, then if the object has not been created, then they could not find a valid BMP 085 or BMP 180 sensor. You can see that this is the not sign, so it's like if the object has not begun working or not been created. Yeah. Next, void loop. Yeah, they just basically these are the functions: read temperature, read pressure, read altitude. These are all the functions in this library, and yeah, they're calling them through the object. So they're calling them and just displaying them on the serial monitor. It's quite simple, I guess. We don't have nothing too serious going on here. And for the BMP280 sensor, there is a different BMP280 library, and you can also use the example code in the library. It's like literally the same. So yeah, that was it. Thank you.